Hey everyone, welcome to another review here on Go Mango.
No!
Alright, as always, I'm your host, President Stratos. Here with me today we have
Cinder Blaze.
my dude. Welcome back. Yesterday we got done watching the 2-episode Zenkai Red special, which was really fun. And we're going to be diving into your guys' thoughts on the episode. Before that, let's dive into what we thought. And like I said, it was fun. It was good fun. And you know, the ending, it kind of sucked that it like knocked itself out of canon a little bit, just because oh no, it was a dream, but it was still fun. It was still a fun special, and a neat, I don't want to say exploration of a Sentai concept, but I don't know. It made me like Kaito a little bit more in some aspects and a little bit less in others. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that they played off of the concept really well for this episode because, like, I think that when we have like those really abstract worlds, like like Garbage World or the Ice World, like it didn't feel like all too special. It's kind of generic and boring, and we're just kind of like relying on the Zenkaiger's kind of like gags to kind of like hold us throughout the entire episode. It's like the way that they
Sure.
and like that's like decent and all, but I think that there was like a strength to this series when they do reference the previous Sentai. 'Cause every time they do it, they did it extremely well.
I
So
agree.
when we have a special, when they kind of like are a bit more self-referential, there's like, hey, like why am I the only like leader or why am I a leader who isn't red and stuff, and just kind of like have doubts like that. Like it's such a small thing, but I think like a series like this is allowed to kind of like blow it up out of proportion,
Yeah.
because like our red is a little bit immature and a little like insecure in some aspects of that. So when we kind of like delve through that route and have like this cool red and just kind of like see like, oh man, like is this team what it should be? Because it is such a weird team compared to like the previous stuff before, and just kind of like justifying like, do these guys deserve to be the 45th like team in Sentai? And I think definitely by the end of it, they proved that, without a doubt, for me at least.
Yeah. And I like, for me, talking about his insecurities about not being a Red Ranger and instead being a White Ranger. It is, I don't know, like he is all about being the first in the world to do something, right?
Yeah.
And suddenly he has this insecurity about not conforming with the rest of Sentai. And it's strange to me because he wants to be one of the first. Obviously, he wasn't the first White Ranger leader, but
Yeah.
I feel like that would have been more exciting to him rather than a sticking point. I mean, to be fair, it would be rather disheartening to have one of your elders being like, "Hey, you're not like us. That's not okay." Or not say he didn't say it's not okay, but like to get that feeling out of it, to get that slight. I understand that, but I feel like what we've seen of this character so far, the response would be like, "Of course I'm not. I'm unique. I'm different. I want to be this way," or something like that. And he was ruminating on it the whole time, and I feel like it sort of went against his character.
Yeah. Like I think it definitely tried to go for the plot more so than like the character consistency.
Agree.
It was like for like the whole overarching thing, not really specific to like who Kaito is, but like on the flip side, I think one of the strongest parts was some of the Kaito development. Like it kind of just showed that he was like the leader for this team. Like
Yeah.
the leader mantle doesn't come with like the color red. Like it feels weird in this Sentai because we already have a red in the team who's definitely not like the leader.
Yeah.
But when we do see like Zenkai Red just kind of like come in out of nowhere and just like handle everything by himself, and like kind of furthering that doubt he had earlier on in the episode, I was like, okay, that's like a really simple way to kind of just like lengthen this special. It's pretty neat. Let's just kind of see where it takes us. But when like this Red is just so obsessed about like what is like a normal Sentai. And I
Yeah.
love how like the villain was like, I am the normal world villain.
Yeah.
It's like they really beat that over your
Yeah,
head.
yeah.
But like he's just like ignoring like the team and like what
Mhm.
actually makes the Sentai a Sentai. And
Yeah.
like when it kind of like unravels towards the end, it makes like
Mhm.
it's a little bit weird. Like the fact that he got his powers from the monster, it should have been like a little tip off. But
Yeah, 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 yeah. But I mean, after all, we can just hand wave that as it being a dream, which is strange to have a flashback within a dream. But I guess, eh. Either way, I enjoyed the sort of framing device of, hey, I want to be a normal villain, do this normal Sentai stuff, and that being a way that Kaito in his mind sort of explored the idea of, well, if I was standard, would it be right? Like, would it still be me? And ultimately, he found that, he doesn't want to be a normal Sentai, or he doesn't want to have a normal Sentai, which, you know, uh, I appreciate that it got, character progression. Like, we have character progression with him, but it came at the cost of the initial, like, the inciting incident being something so against his character. I guess, maybe it shows that he has multiple facets to him, or it could just be character inconsistency. Um,
yeah,
let's see.
but like
Because I feel like it was exploring more so what the writers thought the response to this team was going to be, because there was tons of backlash before, even in the comments of when I was covering this in the news. And they were like, "Wow, I really don't like this concept. This isn't Sentai, yada yada." Some more articulate than others, but doing news videos really brings out all the negativity. So I get why they would have wanted to respond that way and make something like this. Um,
yeah, and like for me, like their response was acceptable because like I also had some of the
yeah,
doubts because like one of the things I kind of like didn't like about the series and like overall like I've had like a lot of like gripes with the series
yeah,
throughout like the series as we're watching it, but I felt like the machines and oh my god, what the machines
yeah.
like they're a bit too like bulky for me. So when we get the civilian level fights, sometimes it doesn't like work as well. But
I
when we
will
actually
say they have been a lot more nimble than I thought they'd be, but
yeah,
they're definitely a little clunkier in terms of motion.
yeah. So, but like when you kind of like see like the way that their characters kind of like interact with each other, like they just seem like a very solid team that I feel like it's just like unfair to kind of be super biased against them in that way.
So like overall for me, I guess it works as metatextual commentary. It just about works in universe, and I think that's good enough for me. I enjoyed it, go all the way through. It was fun. The ending was a little disappointing, but you know what? It's Sentai. It can always redo and undo itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
and I'm glad this was like put aside in a special because having like an episode dedicated to it would be a bit like too dumb, especially the way that it ended. Like it definitely just
yeah, yeah,
doesn't belong in
yeah.
canon, but it was just like a separate thing for the fans,
I agree. Yeah.
just address something. And a lot of
Um,
shows just don't do something like that, so it's nice to
mhm,
see that they put something out there.
yeah. Hey, speaking of fans, there are other fans of this show that left comments on our watch along who watched it with us. Are you? Do you have any more thoughts, or shall we
I
jump in?
am good. Let's jump in them.
All right. So Ryugano says, "I do not like this special." Ooh, interesting. Ryugano always coming in with the opposite opinion. This special became everything I was afraid of. I was afraid it was going to be. Shirakura pointing at the people who don't like Zenkaiger and saying, actually, you're stupid and everything you say is wrong. Sure, I like the core message, but I feel like it was handled very poorly. I get what they were going for with Kaito seeing all these white ranger leaders, only two were white, Battle Japan is debatable, and Shishi Red Orion is a power-up, so it doesn't count. I agree with that. All the Rangers they brought out, except for like the Ninja one and Big One. That everybody else, even what'd you say, Battle Japan. Those three, maybe, or Battle Japan is a maybe, but those other two are the only ones.
He's
only
on the line. You're like,
yeah.
I'm not gonna call him out, but he's still super sus.
Yeah. Like the most marketable thing of a Sentai is the helmet, and his is like almost fully red. But you see the rest of him, and it's just white. Anyway, but the thing is, there are more non-Red Ranger leaders in Sentai like Time Pink. Why not do that instead? That whole scene gave me vibes from Thundercats Roar when they made the original Lion-O say, "Everyone who hates you has poopy opinions," and I think that was made that that wait, and I think what made this special worse was it was a dream all along bullshit. The entire special reeked of Shirakura's self-righteousness and sniffing his own farts. I've never heard that expression. That is very fun, and I kind of want to use it. With this and the reveal of Two Kaiser, I've decided to drop Zenkaiger and watch something else, and I don't think I'll regret it. You know what? That's awesome. It's completely up to you. Art is subjective, and if you don't like something, definitely don't engage with something you don't like, something you don't want to watch. If you don't want to watch something, never feel obligated to do so. So congratulations on making a very healthy decision.
Yeah. Although I would
gotta say,
recommend you watch like the next episode. What is it, like episode 7 or so?
I've
Because
heard
like
good
that,
things.
yeah, because that one definitely feels like it's a different pace from what we're used to in this show. So, but if not, then just come back whenever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to what you are saying about it being that major slap in the face, I gotta disagree. I mean, like what we were talking about, it was good metatextual commentary. I thought it worked. But to be fair, I went into the show on its side because everything they were doing was fun and interesting, and I'm invested in it. And it does feel like they're making actual strides to build this as a full team. As you were saying too, um, it's non-traditional, and it's shaking up the formula isn't something that Sentai gets to do all that often, and I am interested to see how it goes, and I feel like it's been successful so far.
Yeah, and like the whole like self-righteousness and like him being like, "Oh, if you don't agree with us, like you're wrong." It like I don't think it's going like that far. It's just trying to show like why it could be right. It's not like kind of like saying like, "Ah, you're just like straight up dumb." Like, "Hey, look at all this." Like
Mhm.
it's a bit more like lighthearted in intent, I feel.
Yeah.
Although I kind of wish that, like as you said, they brought more of like the non, red leaders. Like there were probably some other leaders that weren't, right, red or white. Just
That would be interesting. Yeah.
yeah, like they really didn't need Lucky in that one. I felt like when I saw his ass just like staring back, I was like, "Nah, you don't belong here."
No, sir. Get out of here. Something I did want to mention though was Matt Hunt replied to him saying, "Time Pink isn't the leader of Time Ranger. Jen's the leader in Time Force." And you sort of missed the point there. It wasn't to show that there are White Ranger leaders in Sentai. It was to show the idea of a Red Ranger is not constant. There's all kinds of Reds, and there's all kinds of Sentai leaders. I think you're taking things too personally, but hey, each their own. If it's not for you, it's not for you, but I hope you're actually giving it a chance and not just dropping it because you don't like the producer. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm inclined to agree with the part about, obviously there's all kinds of Reds, and the Red Ranger isn't a consistent idea. And it would be interesting to stray away from that again. Um, Having the Ninja one being the most notable, where the Red Ranger was the main character but wasn't the leader of the show, and I would like to see that.
Yeah.
Anyway, Matt Hunt left his own comment and said, love this special. It got to poke fun at the side of the fandom who can't get over still what they're doing with Zenkaiger, but it also gave us an amazing character in Zenkai Red, who will hopefully be back at some point. The only thing that bothers me is there's a little ambiguity as to whether or not it happens, but I think, like we saw with Geo, dream states aren't exactly what they appear to be in Shirakura's show. Plus, the red balloon is an indicator that it did happen. It's just only Kaito remembers it. Can't wait for you guys to catch episode 7, and glad you're watching this now when it's intended. Yes, thank you for that. Also, to what you were saying about the him, a little ambiguity as to, him being there. There are a few things that, like, what if it was a shared memory? Like, it was a shared dream between the two of them, potentially. The red balloon, what if he's the balloon? I'm kidding. From the balloon world. But no, he also DM'd me, I think, telling me that the actor was hinting at possibly making a return with his character. So I am interested to see that. And I am sad to say that my theory of, this is what the actual Zenkaigers of this world were supposed to be, and Zenkaiser is based off of the Zenkaigers that would have or should or did exist. I thought that would have been a cool concept, but things change, things happen. I'm still looking forward to seeing what goes on. But another thing I'm looking forward to seeing is episode 7 of Kikai Sentai Zenkaiger, which is going to be going up. The watch along is going up at the same time as this. So if you haven't already, go ahead and check out our watch along. I'm sure it's going to be a good time. I've heard very good things, and I'm hyped up. I'm hyped up for it, and I can't wait to see it. Also, Aresol will be back in that watch along, so definitely come check it on out with us. And yeah, also leave your comments in the comments section down below. I especially for this episode, there were a lot of contentious opinions, and it'd be interesting to get a bit more feedback on this one. And while you're down there, links in the description, hashtag BLM, hashtag stop anti-Asian hate. All of those links are in the description alongside our Zenkaiger merch. So definitely check those out. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Keep it.
Yep. See ya.
Whew. It was a long outro, but I think I strung it all together pretty well.
Yeah, I'm paying attention.
Yeah, I noticed.
Alright.
And now we wait for Aresol.